there's laws in life. Yellow and blue make green, doesn't matter who mixes the paint. What goes up will always come down. When you give, it comes back, pressed down, shaken together, running over, because it's a law. What defines us as human beings is what we do with our time, our talent, and our treasure. My birth mother was pregnant in Egypt, and she was not married. So her family brought her here with hopes to terminate the pregnancy. She was too far pregnant, and I was taken from her and put in foster care. By the age of 6 months old, I was adopted by a loving Irish family. Now, around that time, calamity struck our family. We lost everything. So now I'm adopted, which as a kid, you just think you're not wanted, you're not worthy, because you don't understand why somebody would just give you away. And now you have a father that calls you stupid, tells you you're never going to make it. And then you don't even have money to turn the lights on in your house half the time. And the cars are repossessed. And it was just literally hell on earth. So Margaret Mattioli says to me, I think if you find your birth family, it will make you complete. And we go down JFK Boulevard and we get to Journal Square and we say that, my name is so-and-so and I need my record. So this man brings out this big book, points, and says, you didn't tell me you're adopted. Your records are sealed. Shuts the book. I went home, I took my mother's car, I drove it in the woods, I put one hose in the muffler, the other in the window, and that was it. I went to sleep. I was done. I was checking out. Lo and behold, somebody found the car, and I woke up in the hospital with my mother crying, looking down. As life went on, and I'm about 20 years old at this time, I still didn't want to live. So I went, cashed a paycheck, and I bought 33 bags of cocaine. Dumped it all in a bowl, did the whole thing in one shot. Somebody saw me in the car, called 911. At this point in my life, I'm realizing God knew my life hadn't even begun and I was trying to end it. And God gave me a dream. I had a dream that I was in Egypt and met my birth mother. It was so real. She said, I named you Ayad because it's my last name. Put them together, you'll find me. I called the state adoption registry one last time, and I got this woman by the name of Dolores Helb. And she said to me, your mother's been looking for you since 1986. 22 years before that phone call was the first time I ever prayed to a God I didn't know if he was real. That's when the movie came out. That's the first time I heard the song. God answered that prayer that day. Miriam wrote a letter to the state. When she writes a letter to the state, that breaks the seal. The problem was, God didn't want me to get it yet, but he wanted the proof that he heard me when I was 11 years old. She said that I will wait for you at 2554 JFK Boulevard, Jersey City, with the number. Remember that street I drove down when I was 18? It's called JFK Boulevard. The thief on the cross, he thought that that was the worst day of his life. Thought it was the worst day of his life. But do you know what? It was the greatest day of his life because he could have been crucified any time. He would have never had the chance to cry out, Lord, remember me in your kingdom. Do you realize because that man was murdered that day, he is now living eternity in paradise? No matter what you're going through, you may not be on hospice, you may not have terminal cancer, you may think you've got tomorrow, but my Father thought he had it too. And if you're here today and you're going through something, you feel like you're that seed underground, would you just cry out in your heart and say, Lord, remember me.